let me tell you something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Late night vibes, we're turning up the heat. Team Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. He will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart, with a soul so free. My ATL sports show, it's the place to be.
Atlanta Falcon fans, welcome, ATL Falcon fans. How is everyone doing? We got my man Carlo in the chat. He's up there already. Hey, man, we ain't got time for them to be up. Okay, we ain't got time for them to be up there going backwards. And that is true, Carlo. Carlo, I'm assuming that you and the rest of our Falcon fans have heard that Ray Ray McCoud was released today, which, you know, if you were kind of paying attention, you probably could read between the lines a little bit. Ray Ray was released, and I mean, you know, I'm not surprised about it. I mean, it is what it is, but it definitely doesn't surprise me, you know. I mean, it comes with the territory. You know, if you send a guy home, you send him home for one or two reasons. One, you're either trying to trade him, or you're talking about how to release him. But either way, it just felt like this move was coming, right? Just felt like this move was coming. So again, the Falcons released Ray Ray today. There are a bunch of articles on there. I think this one is from Will McFadden. But you know, I mean, we'll get into it. We'll take a look at what could have been the cause, everything that we know, and maybe what the Falcons can do going forward to, you know, I guess recoup from this, or who do they necessarily replace him with? Carlos says, if Kirk has to play, there's his release valve gone. Well, I guess Kirk is going to need some other release valves, Carlo. I don't know, man. But yeah, so Ray Ray was released. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me get my ducks in a row here. Falcons released wide receiver Ray Ray McCoud after 2 inactive weeks. Raheem Morris, and I quote, "He was the distraction that I'm dealing with. Public acknowledgement suggests deeper locker room issue. Move signals focus and accountability heading into week 8. We got Jay Black in the chat. Jay Black says, wow, what happened? Well, Jay Black, the Falcons released Ray Ray McCoud. And look it, I felt, and I think I may have said on a couple of shows, that they were either going to release him or trade him, because you don't send somebody home. Let's be clear. You're facing the Buffalo Bills, which at the time, they were believed to be the best team in football, or one of the best, well, top 3 at least in football. And you sit him and he's healthy, and your number 2 receiver is not healthy enough to play. And you send him home. Not only do you not play him, you send him home. I mean, to me, the writing's on the wall. You have no use for him anymore. Now, again, I don't know what happened, and I don't want to speculate, but for you to send somebody home, very rarely does that end with them coming back to the organization. In most cases, in a professional sports, be it baseball, football, basketball, soccer, whatever, when you send somebody home, they're not coming back, right? You're discussing your options. You're trying to trade. You're trying to get rid of them. You're trying to look at what the impact could be on the organization. But what you're not trying to do is keep them. And more than likely what happened is the Falcons could not find a dance partner to trade with, right? If I had to guess, that's what I'm going to say it is. Falcons couldn't find anybody to trade with them, and there you go. It is what it is. But let's take a look. Let's get a little deeper into it. McCoud already had a limited role, and it looks like there may have been some frustration on his part. The Falcons offense was struggling to find a rhythm. And Coach Raheem Morris emphasizes team unity and discipline. And look at this. This release sends a message. Okay. So, hey, a lot of people said Raheem didn't hold people accountable last year. Well, he is certainly holding them accountable this year. And if what they're suggesting is true, it's kind of hard to blame them, right? I mean, let's look at the facts here. Ray Ray had 6 receptions for 64 yards in 4 games. He was not setting the world on fire. And if he was a distraction in the locker room, then hey, he's got to go. We're trying to do something. We have a lot of rookies on this team, and you have to be careful what you show the young folks, because they do what you do. They don't often do what you say. They do what they see you do. And so you have to be able to set an example, So, I mean, if that's the case, I'm not mad at them for releasing Ray Ray. I get it. I totally understand. It's just one of those things to where, I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised by this move, right? Because I think the reason you released him today and not last week was you were trying to trade him. I think that's the only reason he stayed as long as he did on this roster is you were trying to trade him. And once you found out that you weren't going to trade him or whatever, you probably didn't get any takers. But if you did, it wasn't worth it. You just said, okay, we'll release him. Right. So I guess my question to the chat, Jay Black Carlo, who do you guys think we should replace him with? Is it Casey Washington? Is it Chris Blair? Who would you guys like to see replace him? Because somebody's got to do it. In the interim, you'll probably see Casey Washington, but I would imagine you would have to call somebody else up from the practice squad. I'd love it to be Chris Blair. I'd really love for him to get his opportunity, but we don't know. But give me your thoughts on who you guys would like to see replace Ray Ray. Jay Black says Chris Blair because of his consistency. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I can see that. Let's see here. Also, and again, and I did verify this, but Raheem Morris used the word distraction. That means you were cutting up in the locker room. Right? That means you were a distraction, And the other thing is, I don't think that the party went over well with the Falcons. I don't. Jay Black says Blair catches every ball sent his way. Yeah, he does, Jay Black. You 100%. I don't think the birthday party that he had the weekend of that we're playing the Bills went over well with the Falcons. I don't. I think that was the proverbial last straw. I really do. I don't think that went over well. I think it pissed them off. From my understanding, no other Falcons attended it. So what I draw from that is they knew better. They knew better. Because if not one active Falcon attended that party and that's your birthday, that means you did this all on your own and they knew better. And that probably means you knew better too. So, you got to look at your locker room culture, man. And you got to have a leadership standard and you have to hold everyone accountable. And it is good to see Raheem Morris taking this step because, Raheem Morris has the reputation of being a player's coach, of just being on the side of his players. And that's fine. Look, your people should know that you have their back. Okay. I've been in management and people, you get more flies with honey. than you do with vinegar. I'm just gonna say, or whatever the analogy is. But you have to hold people accountable. You can't just be a pushover. This just can't be an adult daycare where people just walk in and do what the hell they want to do. There has to be a standard, right? And so, if they felt like Ray Ray was a distraction, and quite candidly, if you go out and do that, if you go out and have this party and you knowingly break this team rule, especially with 6 receptions and 64 yards, you brought it on yourself. Don't get mad at the Falcons. Don't get mad at your friends. Don't get mad at the folk who advertise you need to do this, Ray Ray, because you brought it on yourself, bro. You brought this on yourself. You brought it on yourself. There's nobody else to blame. You brought it on yourself, and this can either be a breaking point for this young man, or it can be a springboard. He can learn from it. He can say, okay, I messed up this opportunity. The next one I get, I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to do what I need to do. I want to see the young man do well. Jay Black says, T-Will, I have to say that Ray was a little weird, eccentric, and that also played a part. See how his hair was always all over the place, and his interviews on the Falcon channel showed him to be flight. Oh, man. Jay Black, that's not fair. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay Black. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I did have I wish I did have hair like that, man. Every time y'all see me, I be, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing, Jay Black? I be doing this. How you doing, Christy? I mean, just because he's got the hairstyle, I will say he was eccentric. I tell you when I knew it, Jay Black, is when he showed up to the Eagles game in Philadelphia, and he's wearing the throwback Eagles jersey, and I'm like, this dude is weird. Like, this dude is weird, right? Hey, man, unite for ball dudes, man. Unite for ball dudes, Jay Black. I love it. We got Christy. What? We got Christy from Mississippi up in here. The lovely ladies of AFN. M-I, cricket letter I, humpback I. Wait, I think I messed it up, but whatever, Christy. How you doing? Let me do it right. M-I, cricket letter I, cricket letter I, humpback I. How you doing, Miss Christy? Our fan from Mississippi, our Falcons fan, my favorite Mississippi Atlanta Falcons fan. How you doing? Christy says right now, I don't know if he is on the side of players, though. I'm sure some of the offensive players have something to say about some of the play calling. They probably do, but you can't be a distraction. But you're probably right. Jay Black says, I am ball too. You know what, Jay Black? Like once a year, I have this dream. Oh, you coming to the Dolphins game? Christy, that is great. That is great. I have this recurring dream that I have this big ass afro. I mean, it is huge. It is so big when I get in my car, I got tinted windows. That's how big this afro is that I have. It's a recurring dream that I have once a year. They say when you lose a limb that your body still thinks it's there. And there are times like you'll get these impulses and you forget you don't have a limb. That's what it's like to be bald, because I will wake up from that dream and reach for my hair like, and then I remember. Right. So it's kind of funny. Let's see. All right. So Ray Christy says Ray reminded me of Rodman. Yeah, he's kind of eccentric. He is kind of eccentric. He really is. Hey, Miss Christy, I'm going to let everybody know that you are coming to the Dolphins game here in Atlanta. I think that's great. Christy says she would not mess up her money. Jay Black says, I don't miss my hair. Shit, I miss mine, man. I miss it. I do. You know what? If I'm being honest, guys, I know we didn't come here to talk about Terry's hair, but I'm really thinking about doing the, hair club for men. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. We didn't come here to talk about that. But hey, the good news about this is if Ray was an issue, and it looks like he was, because I've never seen Raheem do this before, then you did what you needed to do, and hopefully that corrects the issue, and we can move forward, or corrects one of the issues. Look, this Falcons team is like any other team. There are multiple issues going on, but this is one of them. You dealt with it. I think it was dealt with in the appropriate way. And hey, you move on. We got Miss Pam Jackson in the chat. Hey, T Will and Everyone Podcast. T Will, no hat. Yeah, I'm being honest with you, Miss Pam. I'm actually I took my lunch early because this just came out, and I didn't have time to go and grab my hat, because this show isn't going to be an hour. Like, I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's going to be a quick show. But yeah, I'm sorry about that, Miss Pam. Anyway, how you doing, Miss Pam? I hope you're doing well, and I want you to know, Miss Pam, we're praying for you every day. We think about you every day, and we love you. So just so you know that. Christy says, y'all hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Please do. Please do. Please do. Appreciate it. So, guys, who is going to replace Ray Ray? Is it Casey Washington? I know, Jay Black, you said Chris Blair. But, I need to hear from Miss Pam. Need to hear from Christy Lewis. Need to hear from Carlo, if you're still in here. Who do you guys think is going to replace Ray Ray? Is it gonna be, is it gonna be Casey Washington? Is it gonna be more passes to Bijan? Are you gonna put Kyle in the slot more? Just give me your thoughts as far as how we replace him going forward. Christy says, Terry, what will be missed with Ray Ray's contribution? Nothing, Christy. 100%. 100%, but maybe you can move somebody up who will contribute more. I agree with you. He definitely was not producing. Not at the rate that he should have been. Not at the rate that he was last year. He definitely was not producing. So I agree with that. Miss Pam says, I want to see Chris Blair move him up. Christy agrees with you. I'm very biased and want to see Chris Blair. I don't think that makes you biased, Christy. Look at Chris. The best receiver not named a starter in preseason. So I don't think you're biased. I think you're smart. Because to me, the logical choice is Chris Blair. I need to know if they don't choose him, what gives. You don't give him a shot now, after this, something's up. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the Kool-Aid. But if you don't give Chris Blair an opportunity after everything that has gone down with Senor Ray Ray, something's up. I'm just saying. Christy says Kyle has really stepped up, and he has. Kyle is balling, man. Quiet as it's kept. Kyle is balling. Kyle has been a good third down option. Kyle has been a good option over the middle. Kyle's just been. I got nothing bad to say about him. He has been great. So, yeah, man. Rock on. Let's look at some other things. So, I think you are going to get more touches from Bijan and Kyle Pitts, but you have to scheme for that, right? So I think what needs to happen is, number one, Zach had a great game against the Bills, not so much of a great game against the 49ers. You're going to have to get more creative and scheme these guys open. Christy says, after the game against the Niners, Pitts is third amongst tight ends across the league for receptions. He blocked for Bijan's TD in the third quarter, and he did. And thank you for saying that, because that's one thing that you see with the Falcons receivers. All of them block well, or at least block downfield. But Kyle's having a great year. Kyle is, again, I have nothing bad to say about him. So, yeah, main thing is you're going to have to scheme Kyle and Drake and Bijan open. And you'll probably have to use some of Casey Washington and some of Blair, or you could go and get somebody, right? So the Falcons, there's some trades out there that the Falcons could make. I believe the Titans released Tyler Lockett today. Would you guys like to see Tyler Lockett, or do you think he's too old? He's 35? Like, what do you guys think about Tyler Lockett? Or is there anybody that you could see the Falcons trading for in place of all of that, right? Is there anyone that you guys could see the Falcons trading for? And I know we all talk about Waddle, but I just don't think that's realistic, because I don't think the Falcons have the money to pay him. So, they'd have to the Dolphins would have to agree to pay some of the money, and the only way they're going to do that is if you give them a first-round draft pick. And the Falcons don't necessarily have a first-round draft pick, so I don't think you're going after Jaden Waddle. I don't think that's the store you're shopping at. I think if it's any store you're shopping at, it's probably the guy from Oakland. What's his name? McKenzie. I think that's who his name is, but that's probably where you're shopping, right? You're either shopping maybe a third, fourth, fifth round draft pick, somebody you can trade for, or somebody you can sign, or it's going to be Chris Blair and Casey Washington, and let's work it out. You know what I mean? But either way, let's see. Myers. That's right. That's his name. Myers. Thank you. Thank you, Jay Black. And I forget that every show. Jesus. Thank you, Jay Black. I appreciate that. He says, I really want Myers out of Oakland. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind him either. I would not mind him either. I think he would fit in. And I think it'd take some of the stress off Drake, some of the stress off Kyle. And I think we could get this Falcons team really going, man. Because I don't know about you guys, but it just really seemed like we needed another receiver in this past game. And look, maybe it's me. You know, I could be reading it wrong, but I don't know if it was the routes, you know, because we sent everybody on some goes, and somebody has to run a Texas route. Somebody has to run a slant, right? Somebody's got to run a drag. Somebody's got to be open. So I don't know if that was scheme, but it looked like we were lacking options. They clearly bracketed Drake, and it looks like, you know, they really keyed in on Bijan. So, you know, you could argue that maybe we should have gone to Kyle Moore. I don't know. Miss Pam says, I agree. I love me some Bijan, but the whole world knows our plays. There was a time our QB was throwing to everyone and the teams couldn't keep up with us. Switch our plays up consistently. I'm just saying. And you know what, Miss Pam, that's a great point. That is a great point. That's a great point because she's 100% right. You know, last year they couldn't keep. We were throwing up 30 points on teams, and they couldn't keep up. And we go from that to in San Francisco, where the cornerback says, I knew Drake was running it out. And when they were in that formation, I knew he was running it out. Now, you could say, okay, that's great film study. But you could also come back and say that is predictability with play calling. And you can't have that in certain situations. So not only look, Kyle has stepped up and probably going to have to step up more. Bijan's going to have to step up more. You know what? Bijan's doing great. Kyle's going to probably have to step up a little more. Drake and Bijan are just going to continue to have to be themselves. And Casey Washington's going to have to step up more. And maybe Chris Blair. But I'm really interested to see Chris Blair. I really am. I hope with everything in me that they bring him up because I like him. You know, I do. Jay Black says we need threats at wide receiver. When you say threats, I think you're talking about speed, right? So I can get with that. Look, if you can get a Waddle, I'm not saying to not get him. I mean, I'd take him today. Let's see. Christy says the 49ers knew to cover Bijan and Drake well and put enough pressure on Penix to keep him rattled. And that's true. That's true. That is very true. Let's see. Jay Black, Penix will have to learn to throw the ball to everyone. Yeah. And you know, Jay Black, he kind of goes in and out with that one. Because, you know, there's some games he's spreading the ball around and then others not so much. And I don't know what the cause for that is. But you do make a solid point. You do make a solid point. Our guy, William Amy. What up, William? How you doing, man? Hopefully all is well. Hopefully you're doing okay, William. Good to see you, my friend. William says, Raheem better win on Sunday. Dagnammit. He didn't say dagnammit. I just added that at the end because, you know, it sounded like that's what he wanted to say. Like Raheem better win on Sunday. Dagnammit. I'm working on my cuss. I know it's corny. Jay Black says, between Pitts and Mooney, we can have success. And we can. Mooney looked okay. You know, Mooney's kind of getting his legs under him. He doesn't look like the Mooney of last year, but he looks a lot better than he did in previous games. So, you know, maybe he's working his way back, and hopefully he'll get there. Jay Black says, I think Myers would create enough separation. I hear you. Not mad at that. Jay Black says, takes time to gain experience, has a QB which is why I do not crash out on Penix. You know what? And let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk. I really want to have a very quick heart-to-heart with you guys, whom I love so much for coming in this chat and talking with me today. Because I just love talking Falcons with you guys. But I really want to have this conversation with you guys because people, to Jay Black's point, are crashing out on Penix. And to that, I say, relax. 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 I'm not being condescending. That's actually from Aaron Rodgers a couple of years ago. But guys, it's his 9th game. Okay, it is Penix's 9th game. There's some quarterbacks that do not fully come into their own until year 2 or year 3. Penix is in year 1, and Penix has an inexperienced offensive coordinator. So why are you? And when I say you, I don't mean anybody in this chat, but I don't understand why people are calling for Penix to be benched. Because Penix is not the problem. Now, has he had some games where he could have been better? Sure he has. But I'm not going to say the reason we're 3-3 is because of Penix. And I'm not going to say that he doesn't have an upside. And I'm not going to say he's a rookie quarterback. They need development. How else is he going to get better if he doesn't play? Right? How else is he going to get better if he doesn't play? Somebody made the comparison of Matt Ryan today. Well, Matt Ryan went 6-3 in his first, and maybe he did in his first 9 games, but Matt Ryan had Michael the Burner Turner, okay, number 1. Number 2, Matt Ryan had an experienced offensive coordinator who ran the ball, and they ran it well. So it's not necessarily apples to apples because no disrespect to Zach Robinson. I think he has talent, but I think his better years are in front of him, not behind him. I think Zach Robinson still has to develop. I don't think Zach Robinson is who he is going to be 3 or 4 or 5 years from now. And the question is Zach Robinson who we need him to be to take us where we need to go? And that's not one that we can answer now. But all I'm saying is to say that you want to bench Penix, to me, and I get it. Everybody has their own opinion. But to me, it's silly. Okay? It's just silly. Give the young man a chance. I understand we live in a world where we want everything right now, right? We want everything fast. We want fast food. You know what I mean? We want fast deliveries. We want everything done right now. Everything right now. I'm going to download it. I'm going to go. I'm going to get here. I don't want to wait. But there's a saying that says good things come to those who wait, right? And guess what? With some quarterbacks, you have to wait, right? How long did it take Baker? 4 or 5 years? And I'm not saying that's the case with Penix. I'm saying that, yes, there are certain quarterbacks who get it now, but the majority of them get it later, right? Even if we look at Jalen Daniels, and you can argue that he's been injured, he's not having the great season that he did last year. He's just not. Am I saying he's performing poorly? I'm not. But he's not having the season that he did last year. CJ Stroud. I don't know that they're winning at the clip that they were the first year he came out. So, again, the league will adjust. Guys, if you're going to be good, you got to have a couple of things. Number 1, you got to have a good offensive coordinator. Number 2, you got to have a system that fits what you do. You got to be put into a system that not only fits what you do, but it allows you to grow and develop. And you got to have the tools around you, right? You got to have receivers, an offensive line, and a running back. And we have that. We have that in spades. The question is, do we have the OC? And there's still a lot. I mean, I honestly don't know. I don't know if Zach Robinson is the OC to take us where we want to go. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not. Okay? I don't even know that I'm qualified to make that assessment at this point. I didn't coach football. But I know that it's too early, way too early, to give up on Penix because he has such an upside. The guy has a once-in-a-lifetime arm. They don't make arms like that. He can read defenses. He can scramble. He can help you win. Let's get back to the chat. Christy says, let's see. Miss Pam says, I agree he's going to make mistakes and he will learn. I heard a lot of people say to bench him and bring Kirk in. Do you really think after everything is going on with Kirk and the Falcons, he going to get out there and fight to win for us? Relax. Give this young man a chance, please. Let's see. Williams says Casey struggled too, man to man. Williams says, no, Jay Black says that's an interesting point. Miss Christie says we have a Madden mentality, and we do. Just shove them out. Just switch them out. It's fine. Williams says only off day. Williams says we have a game plan. Jack says, T. Will and chat, once they get the film on you, it's a wrap if you do not have talent and good coaching around you as a QB. And that's a good point, Jay Black, because the league does adjust, right? And they do have film, but that is why you have to evolve. And a part of this is a part of the process, right? It's a part of the process. You come out, you do something well, the league adjusts. Well, now you got to adjust back. Now you got to show them what else you can do, right? But it is way, way, way too soon to even think about, to even consider getting rid of Penix. And I think it's sad. In a lot of ways, I love social media. In a lot of ways, I don't. Because social media gives a voice to everybody. And everybody doesn't have an astute understanding of football. Some people are just miserable. Some people just want something to talk about. Some people just want to throw stuff out. They're not interested in winning. They just want to bitch and moan. Excuse me. They do. They just want to complain. They just want to go with whatever the complaint of the day is. Oh, bench Penix. Oh, whatever. You ask them what's going on. They don't know. They don't even watch Falcon football, but they're the first to say bench Penix. And that is what is disappointing. Because this Falcons team has the potential to be great. Will they be? Hey, man, I don't know. That's why they play the game, right? That's why they play the game. That's why we come out on Sunday and watch them. I do know they have the potential. I do know that Raheem is trying to be better this year than he was last year, right? Look it. Cool missed a kick first game. He's out of here, right? Ray, you want to be a distraction? He's out of here, right? Zach Robinson, that performance against Carolina, bring yourself down on the field. So he is trying to be better. Now, does that mean that, we're going to get the result that we want? No, I mean, we don't know, and we won't know until that designated time. But when you fix your mouth to say that we need to bench Penix, I don't know if we're watching the same thing on film. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's like a 2025 Ferrari that needs a timing change. Go ahead, and I don't even know if it has a timing belt, but just for the sake of this analogy, just go with it. Go ahead and change the timing belt. You don't get rid of the car. You know what I mean? Or a better analogy, you got a 2025 Ferrari that just needs a tune-up. Give it the tune-up. You know what I mean? Don't get rid of the car. Just give it a tune-up, right? I don't know. It would be stupid to bench Penix now. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Jay Black says complaining or being negative is what basic MFers do for a better chance of being right in their minds. Fact of life. Agree, Jay Black. We got my guy Craig in the chat. What up, Craig? Craig says checking in from work, but don't wait until next year. Be proactive and fire Raheem and Zach now. Oh man. William Amy says, what the tight end screens have to go. Yeah, no, they do. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't want to see any more of those tight end screens. I don't. Craig says Penix is 9 starts into essentially his rookie year. Thank you, Craig. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all. To all those people who are out there who are like, bitch, I'm like, do you even go to the games? Do you even watch it? Like, look, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. I'm not gonna do it. I want to do it. I'm not gonna do it. But hey, man, look. Bottom line is Ray Ray has, been released, and I'm sure within the coming days we will get the update as to what the plan is on replacing him. And I am sure, unless Penix is hurt and cannot perform, that he will be starting this Sunday. But, that remains to be seen. Hey, to everybody who joined us for this quick show, I appreciate you guys so much. Craig says, I'm a couch potato, and I'm here to say Penix is my QB. You know what, Craig? As a fellow couch potato, I agree with you. To everybody who joined us in the chat, man, I cannot thank you guys enough. I appreciate it. You guys always show up and show out, and I'm just so thankful that, hey, man, we get to fellowship and talk about our beloved Falcons. So, hey, sending love you guys' way. Thank God he sent you guys my way today. Thank God he woke me up. I appreciate you guys. As always, you can see me at 4MYATLSPORTS1 on YouTube. Again, the number 4MYATLSports, the number 1 on YouTube. Hey, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Check your boy out. Again, thank you to Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker for giving me my shout out and my start in this business. And hey, man, thank you to all of you nice people who join and continue to show up whenever we do a show. We can't thank you guys enough. Go Falcons, and I will see you guys probably Thursday. So you guys have a great day. Be safe, everybody. Good night. Rise up. Let me tell you something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Turning up the heat, T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, T-Will.